now. Everybody, this is Semmey, and I'm Crystal, as you know, and this is one of our Bedstuy stories. But we're gonna take it back to New Jersey because we spent the summer in New Jersey, and I keep trying to tell people these stories, and they don't believe me at all. So, Semmy's here to co-sign these stories with me. How you doing today, Semmey?
Hey girl, what's good?
It looks like you have a candy cane from Christmas. Is that one of those spree candy canes, like the ones that taste like actual candy?
Yeah, not my favorite. Not my favorite.
Like you got the yellow one, not the red one, which
But
means
it was free, so
all right.
that's my favorite.
All right, so let's just jump right into it. Um, so do you have a clear memory of what happened that summer? Because a lot happened.
So much happened. Where do we start?
Let's start with your favorite story. Let's start with your favorite experience. Let's say the craziest. What was the craziest thing that happened, in your opinion, that summer?
Okay, the craziest part had to be when the Texas Marshals came knocking down our door.
Okay, guys. So, I wasn't even there for this, and this was crazy. I was on a train. I was at Rockaway on, I want to say, maybe the 3 train or something like that, on my way to work. And I get a call from Sydney. She's like, girl, the marshals came to the house. I was like, who? She was like, the U.S. Marshals. And I said, how do you know that that's who that was? And she was like, oh, they were wearing blue jeans, and they had gun holsters with guns in them. I was like, what? Came around looking for Trey. Now, I'm gonna let you tell the story at this point.
Okay, so 4 girls living in Newark in the hood, and ain't no furniture, nothing like that,
Yeah,
And 2 of the girls actually have jobs, and the other 2 are just kind of bums and have fake jobs. AKA, we bartend at night, but fake jobs, really, just kind of like little gigs here and there. So, we at the house chilling,
having
fun, where the other 2 girls, actually are at work making legit money and stuff. And we get a knock on the door, and 2 girls, hot as hell, no AC. We're how do I say that word?
Scantily.
There you go. Scantily clad, and we're like, hold up, the apartment's a mess. We like, who is this? We don't know nobody in this neighborhood. 2 men in like jeans and like rugged Timberlands and like polo boots come in, like they ready to like run a country mile, and they don't even look like cops, at first. They're marshals. So they come in and they show us a picture and say, do we know this guy?
They had a printout.
Denzel was his name. And I'm like, no. And I'm being honest as hell because I really don't recognize the person in the picture, And I'm like really oblivious as to like what's happening and why they're knocking on our door versus like, I'm like, no, I have no idea who this guy is. Like,
how did they know where you lived? Like, how did they know that she lived there?
I didn't ask the important question. And my friend Tasha's there with me, and Tasha looks at it and she goes, no, we don't know who this guy is. So they tell us he's really dangerous and a low-level criminal in a very
scum. He was some scum, is what they were trying to tell him.
And he apparently shot somebody in broad daylight. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, we don't know him. And so, I'm like, okay, bye, guys. Have a great day and stuff like that. And then they leave, and Tasha looks at me and is like, girl, that was Trey. I said, how the fuck did I not notice him in the picture? Like, how the fuck did I not recognize his mugshot? Like, and then I'm like baffled that we never knew his real name, which is no surprise, honestly. But like, we're just like,
I met his mama and we did not know his real name.
I bet his friends didn't know his real name. I mean, like this guy would not even walk directly next to us on the block. Like he was always 10 feet ahead of us. And we never understood it back then.
Like he knew when we were
like, damn Trey, why you always running? Damn Trey, like you want us to like run up after you? Like what the fuck? What game are you playing, right?
Are you at home? Why are you so paranoid? Why are you nervous? Yeah.
Little do we know, he might actually get shot up, and we might actually be like right beside him, which is really why he always walked 10 feet ahead of us. Shit that we did not know.
And he was
and that was just like so crazy. And then like, do you remember that I sent you like I found his picture or his mugshot online in an article with it? And apparently, how many years did he get?
Yeah, I can't remember. But people said no, he went to Rikers Island. He's still in Rikers Island. He is there. And
so smart. But I mean, that was the craziest moment because we kind of like realized the people that we knew, we didn't actually know. I'm telling you, we was dealing with some killers and was cracking jokes with them.
See, okay, everybody out there, I just want to say, I knew from the very beginning. So let me tell you how this all happened, how this all went down. So for me, the craziest moment was when I first got there. So I was a little intern, had my first internship in the big city, and I knew that Beautiful lived in the city, our friend from high school. Her actual name is Beautiful Lane. So I contacted Beautiful, and she's like, yeah, girl, I live in New Jersey. You can stay at my house. I said, what should I bring? She said, a blanket. I said, one blanket. That's it. She said, yeah, that's all you need is a blanket. I said, okay. So I come through with all my bags. I got 2 bags on me. I got 1 blanket. That's it. No pillow, no nothing. Just 1 tiny blanket. And I meet up with her. And she's like, oh, hey. Well, first, she had this random guy with her I had never seen before. And I said, y'all know each other? She said, no, I just met him. I said, what? She said, yeah, girl, we just met. He smoked me up. I said, how? You're in Times Square. How'd that happen? She said, oh, we just went around the corner. I said, no.
I like beauty.
Like, this is not the same girl from high school. She was a Christian in high school, a staunch Christian in high school. Like, she did not tell lies. She didn't do nothing wrong. Like, she was doing the right thing. And this was a totally different person at this point, right? So she was like, all right, so we're going to get on the train. And I don't know where I'm going. She's like, oh, we're going to go to the Bronx. So we're in Manhattan, go on to the Bronx. She lives in New Jersey. So we're not making connections at this point. So we're going deep. We're going to Tremont in the Bronx, like the Bronx, right? And we're on the train. She's telling me about this guy. She's like, girl, his name is Trey. And girl, he don't treat me right. He's a thug. And I was like, so he doesn't treat you right, and he's a thug. Like, who is this man? And like, you don't want to be involved with this man. She's like, girl, you don't even understand. Like, the only nice thing he's ever said to me was, I look all right. And I was like, that's it. That's all you wanted. You were easy to please, girl. Like, because you don't have to come harder than that. So we get up to Tremont, and we meet her friend. I'm not going to say any names because she is on Facebook. She might be a fan of mine. I don't want to offend. I'm not trying to lose a fan at all because I only got a few. But a girl who dances up in Tremont, right? So I don't know if you ever met a thought and then just knew off the bat that that's what it was, but I knew off the bat. Like, I hadn't really met too many of them before because I had been sheltered. But as soon as I met her, I was like, oh, you a thought, huh?
Oh, wait, Crystal, let me stop you.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I just thought about?
That time she stole
that time Beauty went missing for like 8 days. And we never filed missing persons report.
No, the one time we got concerned, she tried to yell about it and got we'll get into it.
Why did she disappear? Because she got annoyed of us hoes.
We up here calling the cops. I'm up here calling hospitals. I'm thinking she's dead. Like, I don't know where she is.
Wait, we didn't file missing persons report.
We didn't file a missing persons report though. We didn't do that.
We was out.
No.
Remember Tribe Called Quest had a show
Yep.
or that movie premiere? We was up there like, we ain't seen Beauty in 8 days, but we here though.
We have to.
We here.
How could we pass up the opportunity? How could we? We could.
Okay, you guys don't understand. Our friend was a legit ass gypsy. Okay, so she like this was kind of normal for her. It just was like an unusual length of time. So we were like, hey, now she hitchhikes rides all the time, and she meets strangers and she makes friends. And she's
Not that big. She's a small woman.
So it wasn't totally unusual.
So
but 8 days?
It was like more than a week. Like it was insane. And then she just walked into the door. She walked into the apartment
and was like, "What up, hoes?"
She said, "What's up, guys?" And I was like, "Where have you been?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm hungry." I was like, "You come back after 8 days, got the nerve to be hungry? Who didn't feed you in them 8 days? Like, what happened? You didn't find no snacks?"
He was like, "Ho, don't you get mad if your ass get actually missing and we don't tell nobody next time." I'm like,
So 8 days she went missing and we're living in her apartment. 8 days she's not been in her own home. But she got 3 girls in the house. And our name is not on the lease and we're not supposed to be there. Like it was illegal for us to be there, right? So that was a summer we had, right? So the first day I get there, we go up to Tremont.
Why was she mad?
She's always mad.
Wait, somebody wasn't paying rent. I think I was one of them.
I was paying. Oh, Tasha wasn't paying rent. Tasha wasn't trying to pay rent.
We were some trifling hoes thinking we could stay for free.
Okay, so our friend was involved in some sketch activity to make some money, right? So her money flow wasn't right. It really wasn't right? And I was interning, and I was making $11 an hour, so my money sure enough wasn't right. I was eating like hot dogs for dinner. Like I lost.
You was eating hot dogs and hot Cheetos.
Semmey.
Wait, we didn't even have meat. We was eating egg sandwiches with mayo and some hot Cheetos and water.
Pop-Tart. I was eating. You know how they come in the pack? I was eating one at a time. Right?
But the weave was new.
But we did have a nice week going on some sales.
I remember that's why she got mad, because Tasha had bought a new Peruvian weave and she was like, "Bitch, you ain't paid me rent. How the fuck you gonna have your weave done though?"
Like nobody's paying it. And that's what she did. I made the mistake
she's like, "That ain't no Yaki weave."
I made the mistake of inviting her to one of my events at work, and she went off on Tasha at one of those events. Like we're around kids, and she's up there on the phone cursing her out. She's like, "No, you can get out the house then. If you want to talk about money, if you want to talk about rent, you ain't even paying it. Get out the house." And I was like, "Guys, I'm so sorry about this. Like, I don't know what to say right now, you know." And then, yeah. So actually, when we had that meeting, do you remember that meeting we had?
No.
Basically, she shut it down. Didn't nobody talk but her. She just shut it down.
Was she drunk? Do you remember every time she got drunk, it was always a situation?
No.
This is like the sweetest person you know. Like nicest person, funniest, most like personable,
very
like person, like never unhappy, like can smile through anything until a bitch got a little bit of liquid courage in her. It was another motherfucker. Do you remember she almost burned down the house?
What?
Do you remember when she almost burned down the apartment? She was acting schizophrenic and like she was in the kitchen turning on the stove.
What? Did you ask her why she was doing it?
What, you don't remember that? Tasha was about to die.
Oh, I was not there for that.
We were about to die in our sleep. She was turning on stoves. She was like conscious and walking around and doing things, but like totally okay. So she wasn't conscious, but like she was like walking around doing things, but like it wasn't herself. And we'd be like, bitch. Like, it was almost like sleepwalking, but you're not asleep. You're like just drunk. And
Oh no.
like, honestly, I've never seen anybody react like that. We've never seen anybody react like that to liquor. We like, bitch, you sure you had some liquor or was that some drugs? Like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh no.
It was always a fucking show when she got drunk. Do you remember when we were in Brooklyn and she started charging up our boss?
That was that night. That was that night. So the night started off cool. The night was fine, right? And then all of a sudden, she just started drinking a little bit of drink. And then she got fun. Like, it was fun, beautiful when she got that first drink. Drink number two was crazy. It was crazy. So her boss was just like, yo, I'll drop you off. Like, I don't have to, but I will because I want to be nice. I'm going to drop you off at World Trade Center so that we can get to New Jersey. Real short ride. We get in there, Beautiful's talking nothing but shit to him the whole time in his own.
The whole time. And we're like, don't kick us out.
I'm in the back quiet as a mouse.
We're like,
and then he decided to ask us the worst question. He was like, are you guys excited to go back to school? And of course, I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like, yeah, I am, right? And she turns to me, she's like, well, then you get out of my house then. You're so excited to go back to school. You ain't got to, like, started charging me up. I was like, oh, right? And then you probably don't remember this, but you turn back to say something to her, and she goes, and you want some too? And you were like, nah, beautiful, you got it. You got it. Oh. And I'm in the back, like, just mad. I'm steaming, but I'm quiet. I locked my lips up. I was like, looking out the window too. I was like, oh, I didn't say nothing to her.
and guys, she did not stop going off on our boss. She was going off, and we was in the car like, man, I hope this nigga don't drop us off in the middle of fucking Brooklyn. We don't know where the fuck we are.
Job. She was just like, oh, so when you gonna hire me?
Oh yeah, that's what happened. She wanted a job. It's like, bitch, you got 5. What you need another one for?
And 3 of them illegal. Like, how are you doing this? Like, what are you doing right now? So our boss has to stop at like a barbecue or something like that in Brooklyn. So we're like, all right, cool, fine, whatever. He's like, all right, you guys can have something to eat. I'll introduce you. Like, he was doing the right thing. And like, everyone was courteous. Beautiful was still drunk off of 2 drinks, like 2, 3 drinks max. And like, started, you know how she used to like make you feel bad for her? She was like, I try my best around the house. If I could, I'd buy a lot of things for the house. I know Tasha's computer got stolen because she let 2 randos into the house when no one else was there, and they threatened to tase her with her own taser. And so they stole a lot of stuff out of the apartment. One of those things being a computer that did not belong to her. And she was like, "Yeah, if I could, I'd give Tasha another computer."
Here's the worst part though about that story. We already knew them niggas was crazy, and she let them in again by herself this time. It was like, bitch.
No, the second time she tried to deny it, but we were like, "What's his hat? Like, whose hat is this?" I had no apartment, and then she came clean. We were like, "Are you serious right now?"
Oh, I remember the first time they came. They was talking to us crazy.
They were just like, "Oh, make us a sandwich." I'm in the back. Nah, yeah, hold up. I didn't play games that summer. Like, I really didn't. So I was in the back, really
She
not.
didn't, y'all. She kicked me one time.
I did. Now I was wrong for it.
Pushed me out the bed.
I did. I was wrong for it.
But she woke up in the morning.
Okay.
Everything was cool. It was cool. And it, bitch. Oh, she really mad. Tasha was like, you wrong for that one. Crystal was like, I know, but it felt good.
I know. They called me to like Crystal.
That's when I learned Crystal got a little evil in her.
So even though it was so bad that Beautiful called me, she called me clown too. She was like, Crystal, I heard what happened. What's going on? And I'm at work. I'm like, I do need it too. I did it. I do need it. Call somebody right now. Like, I went off, right? So it was a crazy summer, really, for me and for Beautiful both. But at this time, I'm in the back room, and I hear Semmey yelling. And I'm like, why is she yelling? I'm like, Semmey don't yell. So I come out the back. Semmey, I think you had a shoe in your hand or something. Like, you had something.
They wouldn't leave.
They were not. So it's 3 boys. All right, 3 guys around our
Wait,
age.
it was 2 guys, right?
It was like 2 or 3. Like it was too many people in the house, right? We ain't got no furniture. So it's a whole bunch of women on the floor. Like we're on the floor with some blankets and stuff and suitcases around us, around one TV. A TV is all we had in that house. That was
And that bitch didn't even work.
that it didn't work, right? So we're all crowded around, right? I come out, Semmey has like a shoe in her hand and she's not playing. She's like, then get out before I have to call somebody. Beautiful comes out with a flat iron. I'm like, what? How are you supposed to be defending yourself, right? And then she
Them
starts,
niggas was scary. They were not worried about us at all. They was talking to us crazy. They was like, girl, go do this. Girl, go do that. And it's like,
I'm gonna eat. I'm hungry. I came out. I was like, I stopped. I killed the operation. I said, do you want me to call the cops? Is that what you guys want me to do? Because I'm not scared. Like,
anyways, they left out of that house mad as hell. And we was like, so what? You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't never gonna get in this house again. You know what I mean? Like you're not
stole
gonna
everything.
start it on these streets.
So
Right? We thought we was done.
everything in the house. And
Why that girl let them in the next day by herself? Cause she wanted to what?
blowing trees. And she almost got tased out. Like they found a taser in there and threatened to take
She tried to use it on them and they took it.
it. And I was just like, what are you doing? Why?
Like, damn, beauty.
Seriously? So yeah, we didn't have any mercy for her. And when Tasha found out that her laptop was stolen, she kept blowing Beautiful up every day about that laptop, right? And I would have to a certain extent if I were
Hold on, my mom just turned on this AC. It's loud as fuck. You probably can't even hear me.
I can hear this fine.
I can't even hear shit anymore.
All right, so we're gonna continue this because but the first night I was there, one, she didn't tell me we didn't have any furniture, so that was one thing. Two, she didn't tell me I was living with 2 other people. That was another thing. 3, we went to Brooklyn and we smuggled guns in her purse. I didn't know that she had those guns and drugs in her purse until a black SUV pulled up and a guy came out of the SUV, put his hand into Beautiful's purse and pulled out some guns and then got back into the van. And me and her thoughty friend were just like, what is going on with, I'm telling them about the guns. Me and her thoughty friend were just like, what's happening? Why are there guns in your purse? What's up? And then Trey was just like, yeah, I want to carry 2. And we were like, nah, bro, we ain't got purses. Nah, bro, we don't even carry them. Semmey, I feel like you're on mute right now. You might want to turn that off. Welcome back to the show.
I'm back.
So yeah, so that was my first introduction to New York was guns and purses, and dealing with thugs was another thing. And then we came to New Jersey on the hottest day of the year. I opened the door thinking that I was going to feel a cool blast of AC, nothing but hot air. We had no AC in that apartment. So imagine 4 women living in an apartment, no furniture, no AC, no nothing. And we lived in East Orange in the hood. So,
Okay, guys, let me tell you something. 4 pretty girls show up. East Orange, New Jersey. Do you remember the street?
Walnut.
Walnut?
Walnut.
Walnut. Guys, we had no idea how hood this would be. We had no idea.
Yeah, our building and the building across from ours was the only one, they were the only ones that were open.
The rest of the block was filled with bandos, y'all.
Yeah. Boarded up, buildings burnt down, buildings. Like, honestly, we were the only ones there. And then we made friends with some neighborhood thugs, which they were kind of cool. They were actually pretty cool, though.
I bet if we went there today, they still be on the damn block.
Yeah.
And they show us mad love.
They were.
But they just did not understand what 4 pretty girls were doing moving into a hood like that. Like nobody moves into the hood like that. Like you either like born and raised here, but you damn sure don't move in. And not four bad bitches in one apartment either.
Right? They were very confused by that.
They were so confused, guys, and we were all so weird and different from each other. And
Yeah. I was the uptight one.
mm-hmm.
Uh,
She was always scared.
yeah. I was like, guys, we didn't do this in my old neighborhood. We shouldn't be doing this. We should call the cops.
But I'm telling you, she got a little ratchet in her though.
Yeah, yo, I got pushed to the edge, honestly. Dealing with Mont. You remember Lamont?
He was like, I'm just trying to work, guys. I'm just trying to have my internship.
That's all I wanted to do. But I started getting pushed. What was his
We
name?
turned you out a little bit.
A little bit. What's his name? Lamont, the guy who made me spray off on him and rub him down. Was that his name?
Yeah, there was like a house of guys, Lamont. Dope boys, but not really dope boys, more like pedal pushers.
Yeah, they were low level. They were like harmless, right?
Very friendly. They used to like chill outside the house, and it was like a family home, and like 15 of them living there.
In one tiny house.
One tiny house, you know, mama, sister, brother, cousin, auntie. It's a thing up north. We didn't understand it because we from down south where you hit 18 and you got your own shit.
But the girls used to love to hang out over there, right? So I started getting into it too, and there was this one guy named Lamont who could not get enough of me.
He loved him some Crystal, honey.
He happened to be a little crippled as well, right?
He got shot.
He got
shot. G.
Right?
How was he crippled again? I forgot. Was it his arm? Was his leg?
His legs. He couldn't walk.
Both of them. Was it permanent?
That's why he stayed on the stoop, because he couldn't walk. He never got up.
He was cool as fuck, though. We all loved him, but we loved him because he didn't love us. He loved Crystal, so we didn't have no problems.
And he just wouldn't let it go. He was not being cool about it.
Guys, I don't understand persistence of this nature.
Well, remember that barbecue they invited us to?
Yeah, that family grill.
They invited us to a family function. We come over all polite. We all did, right? And when
ready to eat.
He tried to show out, though, right? He saw that I wasn't showing him love. I was just like, all right, Lamont, like, I come this here for the family, here to say hello. And he goes, oh, can somebody spray off on me? I was like, well, yeah, your family, you got cousins here, right? He goes, no, I want you to do it. I said,
we all, me and all my friends go.
And then everybody turned their head. I looked at Semmey, she turned. I looked at Tasha, she turned. I looked at Beautiful handed me the off spray. She was like, here you go, girl. No, right? So I walk over, and all of his cousins are looking at me. I'm looking at him, and how can you tell a crippled person, no, I'm not going to help you, right? So I had to do it. So here I go.
Guys, you should have seen her face on it. She looked like she was just walking into jail, like penitentiary for the first time. She was like, but she did it though.
I did it because I'm a nice person, right? So I sprayed.
After that, she stormed off though.
Not yet though. I sprayed him, but spraying him wasn't enough. He goes, "Oh, you're not gonna rub it in?"
Guys, y'all ain't never heard of rubbing in off spray. What the fuck they do that at?
That's why they make it in the spray so that it covers the whole surface area, right? He goes, "Oh, you're not gonna rub it in?" I took my one and my fingers, and I just went. And I stormed off. I was like, bye, guys, I have to go. And Tasha was like, you're not going to eat? I said, no. I'm not hungry. No. I never went back after that. I said, forget it. Mm-mm. But there was this one guy who used to call Semmey Zoom Zoom. Zoom Zoom.
Oh, yeah. He looked like Tasmanian Devil.
He was a little yellow bone. He looked like
Yeah, he looked like the Tasmanian Devil. Okay, guys, so I was like super weird. Okay, we didn't have AC. It was hot as hell. It's New York, y'all.
It was like hot as summer.
Sweltering. It's like the South, except your ass gotta be outside because there ain't no motherfucking cars around. You know, you gotta wait outside in the sun for that bus to come through and that sweltering ass subway. So guys, we didn't have no AC. Half halfway through the summer we got one, but
in the beginning, nothing.
we had nothing. So I had a job, so I was there 24 hours a day, except at night when we went out to be thoughts. But yeah, so I'm a Texas girl down south, and I wanted to go out. I went outside. I was like out on the porch steps a lot. Guys, nobody told me how weird I looked. I'm like, so they let me do me. My friends let me do me, and I was like outside on the porch all the time, and then I was sitting on the curb because like,
Imagine somebody in the hood. Like, imagine like a pretty girl in the hood wearing a Michael Kors watch, like a gold Michael Kors
I
watch.
did not wear that bitch outside.
Hair is pressed to the gods. Up there looking pristine, but just like chilling. Just like posted up.
Posted with a mean mug because I don't know how to smile or
We
anything.
used to sit on the mailbox too. We were like sitting on the mailbox.
Like the blue mailbox with the like the old school ones, where you had to drop the mail in. I sat on top of that for like 2-3 hours one time.
Just reading The Art of Seduction. It was just like, who are you today, Semmey? Like, what are you doing?
Girl, that weed must have been good. So
they too. Like they knew what time. Like they knew I had a job. Like dudes came up to me and were just like, "Oh, you a teacher, right?" I'm like, "No." And they were just like, "You see, you leave at 8 a.m. every morning." I'm like, "Wait a second, what?" And then they would watch you. Right.
Oh, they was watching us. They was watching us. It was scary.
That's the kind of hood we were living in.
We didn't know.
Free.
We didn't know. I mean, they told me what I had on one day, like from a whole month ago, and I was like, from like dressed down to like the socks. Like they was like, "We seen you over there looking like FBI in that blue polo hat and them black big ass sunglasses and that blue jacket on with the zipper halfway all the way zipped up and them little sneakers walking down that." I was like,
Yes.
Guys, I was so scared of my life. I was like, okay, I have 2 weeks left here. I am counting down. Guys, they thought I was FBI.
And she kept asking us, "Guys, do it look like the FBI today?" We were like, "Always."
Well, do you remember the day they finally told us? Somebody came up with got the courage to finally tell us towards the end of our stay that there was a reason why nobody would sell me weed. So people would sell to my friends, but then anytime I asked, it was like, weed. We don't do that. I'm like, nigga.
Like, I just saw you. Like, I know.
Nah. Nigga, my friend just, they would legit not sell to me. They even went so far one time to stage a little presentation on the porch while I was, usual day, chilling out on the porch, catching a nice breeze. You remember the guy that lived downstairs with the dreads? He wasn't old. He was the one with the dog.
Yeah, he had a daughter and a dog. He was cool.
He was cool as fuck, but he was still shady as fuck too. Yeah, they was all. He was cool as fuck though. So it was him and this other drug dealer on the porch. And they had stayed, and I was sitting there, minding my own business. Yeah, I heard what y'all was saying because y'all are literally right next to me. But everything they said was for me to hear. And he goes, "Nah, man, I don't sell no more. I ain't into all that." Side eye. Right? And I'm like, minding my own business, right? He was like, yeah, you ain't sold in how many years? Yeah, that's not blah, 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 blah. That nigga sold. You actually the most legit one on the block. But and
imagine sitting me on the porch eating mac and cheese out of a cup. Just being there 24/7. Who would not think that she was FBI? I would have thought you were FBI.
Why y'all tell me, hoes? Y'all let me sit up out there every day like FBI. My ass could have got shot because niggas thought I was watching.
Sydney, we kept asking you, why are you outside? What are you doing?
No, y'all acted like it was cool.
He's outside. What are you doing?
Tasha's ass came out there and sat with me on the curb.
Tasha doesn't care.
Tasha's not give a fuck.
No, Tasha's. Ooh.
Somebody actually got the nerve to ask me, why you be sitting outside on the curb like that? I was like, what? People don't do this? I was like, is this weird?
Is this not an everyday thing for you? Yeah, no, it's not.
But nobody drove down that street. It was like abandoned, like we said. Like nobody.
No one drove into East Orange like that.
Nobody was.
Yeah, East Orange was bicycles and BMWs. That's
there. You go.
That was it, really.
The only time people drove down the block is to pick our asses up.
That was it. Honestly, quite honestly, that was it. Speaking of Tasha, though, the Harvard graduate that she recruited.
Oh my God! Wait, do you remember the time we were smoking some like medical marijuana and we were walking down the street for a little walk, and then the guy, one of our neighbors, actually we don't really know him, but he lived on like across the street. It's like, y'all got a lighter? We like, he's like, all these smokers and ain't no lighter?
He called us out.
I was like, no. We thought we looked conspicuous.
Not at all. Not at all. First off, we were taking a stroll down the street no one strolls on. Clue number one.
Gosh, I say we go back.
No.
You know it's gonna be love.
I
remember one time you had a radio gig.
Me?
Somebody. We were working with somebody who worked in radio. Maybe we had like one meeting or something. It didn't last long, but it happened. And we told the guy where we lived, and he was like, "What the fuck? Y'all living there?" And we was like, "Yeah." Been living there for 2 months, all smiles on our face because we've been having the fun time of our lives, really. And he's like, and y'all ain't dead yet? Like somebody's looking out for y'all. And we were like, really? And that's when we learned we lived on the block OPP shot their music video on.
Yep.
Guys, I legit tell you, like the curb that I used to sit on, right behind me was telephone poles with graffiti on it. Why I never noticed them before? What the fuck?
We were living in the danger zone for real, and we were having the time of our lives.
Oh, nut.
Yeah. Somebody was looking out for us. I don't know who. Maybe they were so afraid of Semmey that they just never tried it.
That's possible.
So it's quite possible, right?
Yeah, I was a popo, so you're not gonna fuck with me.
But yeah, I don't remember the radio thing, but I definitely see where that person was coming from. But we had good times, though. Like the time we went to the beach. Actually, forget that. Remember the time we went to the restaurant, that 5-star restaurant that Tasha set up?
We had this friend, Tasha. Tasha had the motherfucking plug.
Yo, she had the body for days, and it really paid off for all of us.
Guys, we didn't have to do anything. Anywhere we went with Tasha, it was just like
free.
We was freeloading off that ass, man. That girl had an ass, like, oh my God.
Yep. She still does, too. Still does to this day. But in New York, the word traveled fast. And one day we found ourselves in a 5-star restaurant, like in Manhattan. She was like, oh, I have a friend, come over. We're about to eat. And I was like, okay. I come through. I'm like, girl, who is your friend? This bald Italian guy walks up. I'm like, who is this? And then he starts just like giving us he's like, oh, sit out here. And we're like sitting, like nothing but old white people. Nothing but old white people around us. We're outside in this beautiful place. And he's just bringing bottles. Like his wait staff, they're just like, anything you guys want? And we're like, anything? He's like, yeah. I start ordering.
Man, especially beauty.
Oh, from 0 to 100.
Because that bitch don't know how to say no.
Real quick. But I'm up there eating duck ravioli. I'm like, eating duck ravioli, getting dessert. We up here on bottles on bottles on bottles. Next thing I know, Beautiful is almost dead. I turn around, that girl is like unconscious. He's like, yo, go clean her up. I'm like, what is going
I
on?
wasn't even here for that night. I was in Dallas, and this is actually y'all called me, Crystal. You
I,
called me.
I gave you a phone call. So I take her, this was my first week meeting Tasha. My first week in the city. So I take her to the bathroom and we're like trying to get her to throw up. She doesn't have any gag reflex at all. Didn't nobody tell me that? So we're trying to make it happen. She just, it gets worse. Like, it gets worse and worse and worse, and her body's just dead weight. And we're carrying it outside. We have to take a cab from there to New Jersey. No cab wants to carry her like that. Only a black cab does. He's like, y'all gonna pay me a lot of money for this. So he takes us all the way to New Jersey. Meanwhile, she throws up and she just, a lot of things happen in that cab, right? We get to Walnut, and like he helps us carry her body inside. Like it looks like we're carrying a dead body inside, right? So we get to the apartment. I'm about to pay him, and Tasha just goes, "Nah, girl, we ain't paying him nothing." I said, "What? For real?" She's like, "Nah, girl, we ain't paying
Tasha's
him."
drunk.
I was like, "We
Beauty's
can't."
drunk. Crystal's the only one that could sober up. She doesn't know what to do. She just met Tasha.
Just met him. I was
And
scared. I
and I
was
just went home for Dallas, or I was already there, and I wasn't there to welcome Crystal to the city. And she calls me because she's like, I don't know what to do.
and I called you when I was in the bathroom, right? So
Yeah.
like I'm in the bathroom, her head is over a toilet, and Tasha is yelling at me, "We ain't calling no cops. We don't get the cops involved in this. Who going to the cops? Who going to the hospital?" I'm like, "Oh my god, like we have to go call the cops. We gotta go to the hospital, right?" She's like, "Nah, we ain't doing nothing. We thugs." I was like, "We ain't thugs. I'm new to the game, right?" So I call you. I'm like, "Semmey, please help me. I don't know what to do. She's dead. I think she might be dead." And you were like, "Nah, girl, what's going on? Is Tasha there? Let me speak to Tasha." I was like, "Okay, all right."
I love how you
So
make me sound cool as fuck.
you are very cool. But like we get home and Tasha's just like, "No, we're not gonna pay him." I'm like, "How are we not gonna pay the cab driver?" Sure enough, we didn't pay him. And like she's like, "All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna strip her down naked." I'm like, "Why is that necessary?" Right? She's like, "We're gonna put her on the carpet, right?" So we're moving her to the carpet. We step on her weave. Her head yanks and then hits the floor. I'm like, with a bang, it hits the floor and she doesn't wake up. I'm like, "Oh my god!" Right? And at that point, we just drop her. We're just like, "Forget it, drop her, leave her there." Right? We wake up in the morning to, I'm like, "What is that sound?" Right? I come out, she's choking on her own vomit. So we're just like, "All right, flip her over," right? She was about to die. We were like, "Yo, flip her over," right? So Tasha has a bright idea because I think she's still drunk. She's like, "You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna run her a bath because she has vomit all over her." She's like, "We're gonna run her a bath. We're gonna put her in there, let her soak up." And at this point, I'm like, I'm so tired. I'm like, you know what, whatever, that makes sense. So we run her a bath and we just put her in there. And I'm like, all right, finally some rest. All I hear is blah, 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 blah. This girl is drowning in a shallow bath. Like she slipped under. I'm like, oh my God, right? So it's like, it's
Mind you,
taken,
guys, it's like 24 hours and nobody's called the cops or the
no,
medical. Like,
I'm sure she had alcohol poisoning at this point, right? So, but no one's been called because Tasha's like, "We thugs and we handle it ourselves." And I'm crying. I'm like, "Okay, we're thugs." So Beautiful finally, we think she's awake. She's not conscious. Like she's actually sleepwalking, weirdly enough. But she gets out of the tub naked, stark naked, right? And we hear her talking, and we're like, "Yo, Beautiful, are you awake?" And she's like, like she just starts cursing. She's like, "All y'all hoes, like, what am I doing? Like, where are my clothes at right now? Like, what's going on?" And we're just like, "You're in a bathtub trying to get clean. Like, what do you think is going on?" She's like, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Right? Gets her phone. Send She calls you. I don't know if you remember this, but she calls you, and we're just like, "Why are you calling Simi?" Right? And then she gets on the phone, starts talking shit about us. We're like, "How are you doing this? We just saved your life, and you up here going off." And she like, "What? You're not even making sense right now, right?" So I was like, "You know what? Forget it, Beautiful. I'm going to Wendy's." I go to Wendy's. I come back. And that's when she actually wakes up. Like, she's still on the toilet naked. And she hangs up the phone. She looks at me and she goes, Crystal, why am I naked? And I was like, beautiful, I don't know. Like, it was a long night. She's like, my head really hurts. What happened? And I was like, you've been unconscious for 24 hours. That's what happened. And then she came down with the shingles right after that. So we had to deal with that too. But that was the first time she almost died. I think it happened 2 or 3 times after that too. But that was just the first time. And that was my first week there. My very first week in New Jersey. So yeah, traumatizing. But things kept happening. I kid you not. Every 2 days at least, something happened. Something new happened. Every other 2 days.
Every day was a new adventure. It was like,
yep.
We honestly believe our friend Beauty attracted the most craziest and wildest things happened to her all of the time. And we were just around it and really bystanders to it and just kind of like, I don't even know, but it was some crazy ass shit.
I don't know. All I know is the best perk that came out of it was the beach. Having guys take us to the beach was fantastic.
Guys, we used to pimp guys like, oh, it's your turn. There you go. You got him. All right, show him a little bit more ass. All right, let's get in the car.
So because I was a skinny one at the time, because I wasn't eating right, I was eating 2 Pop-Tarts a day was my diet, and maybe some hot Cheetos. I slimmed down to around 115 pounds. Like, people don't understand the weight I dropped. Like, I came there weighing $140. I left weighing like $112, something like that.
Struggling eating them hot Cheetos.
Yes, I had no body fat on me, so I wasn't pulling them in. Right, I was just reaping the rewards of everybody else.
It was so fun, guys. Tasha and Beauty did a lot of the work. I came in every now and then.
Semmey definitely compensated. You know, she definitely brought in some quality people, you know. But I sat back and I was like, yeah, take me to the beach. Take me here, take me there. I'm there for the ride. Let's go. Having a great time. But Tasha pulled that Harvard graduate one time.
And he was like, bitch, how did you get a Harvard graduate?
Where did you meet
ratchet ass?
How? He liked that? Like, that's what
we were so confused, guys. We was like,
we jumped into the car. We're going to like a nice beach in New Jersey. Like, she got him to take us to like Belmar Beach in New Jersey, like a really nice one, way out of the way, right? And we're driving, and I'm like, yo, why are we in a BMW? And she's like, oh, you guys should ask him where he goes to school. And I was like, that's a weird question, but where do you go to school? He goes, oh, I go to school in Massachusetts. Now, you know it's serious when they don't tell you the name. They just tell you the state. And I'm like, great, a lot of schools in Massachusetts. Where do you go? He goes, Harvard. I was like, what?
We all like, ooh, good job. Good job, Tasha.
You pulled the right one.
Yeah, like, we see you. All right. Okay. We're feeling real safe and comfortable.
Kudos. He ain't choking us out. He ain't gonna choke us out.
Because, usually we with some little thugs that we don't know from, like...
Yeah, you gotta keep your phone close to you with the thugs we were hanging out with. But this one I felt safe with.
We felt so safe. So, me getting ready and prepared, pulled out the joint to start rolling in the car. He starts acting hella uncomfortable. What he tell me, girl?
He said, what is that? What's that? Please don't do that in here. Please don't.
He was acting like I was going to spark it up, guys. I'm like, nigga, I'm just rolling.
That's exactly what her reaction was. She said, yo, chill. I'm just rolling it up. I'm getting it prepared right now. Chill, right? So we get to the beach. They straight up ignore him. We get to the beach. I felt so bad for the guy.
I know.
Right? He's there like on a towel. Trying to catch some rays. And they're just like gallivanting. He's like, Tasha ain't paying him no attention.
No mind.
Nope. And at one point we started running away from him, didn't we?
Okay, no, this is what happened. So we were smoking weed on the beach. Guys, we never smoked weed on the beach and it got dark. Have you ever been on the beach when it gets dark? It's
a little scary.
Absolutely frightening because you really can't see anything. And so we started to see, okay, at this point we're high on the beach in the and it's like pitch dark and like we can barely see our hands. And we see lights coming our way and we're like, oh my God, it's the police. So
I remember this.
we get really scared and we start running away towards the shoreline.
We're just like, no, they're gonna catch us, no. And then we just see homeboy Harvard. We see Harvard, right?
No, we
We don't
get
even
all
see
the way
him.
to the
We see his
shoreline.
teeth. We just see his teeth.
We get all the way to the shoreline. And then we're like, hey, where's our ride? Where's Harvard? Like, we ready to dip, right? And then we like, Tasha's like, he's right behind us.
And we,
and then we turn around
nothing
and
but teeth.
Nothing but teeth, and he was watching us the whole time.
The whole time, not saying anything. So we're freaked out. We're just like, yo, Harvard, like, that's creepy. Don't do stuff like that. And so he takes us to IHOP. That's when Tasha started acting up. For real. Started making faces at him. Started mocking him. Started trying to impersonate him. Like, really just started bullying him for no reason. And then Semmey was just like, yo, I'm about to go to the bathroom. He was like, what are you guys doing in there? Like, are you guys doing something illegal in there? She's like, yo, chill. Again, I'm just rolling it up. Be cool, man. I felt so bad for him because he really wanted to spend some time with Tasha. Like, he really liked her.
I know, and we had to tag along.
And he wasn't getting no play. He really wasn't. He didn't get a call back. Nothing.
Wait, he called back. He showed up again.
No, he called her back. She didn't. She wasn't trying to have it though. But he definitely showed up. He wanted some more.
It's like, nigga, you want some more of this after that last time? We was so confused.
Like, this is the way you like to be treated? Like, all right, cool. Take us to the beach again.
That magic that guys have, y'all, is magical. The powers.
True. That's the key. Have ass will travel. That's really what the motto is. But yeah, so that was a lot of our summer. Like, I'm trying to think of any other like outrageous things.
The night you had to go to the strip club to support Beauty, and then you was out there till like 2, 3, 4. You couldn't come in. You didn't have ID. That was bad. You called me then too. I wasn't there.
So yeah, I was ready to up and leave. Like, I was so ready to quit my internship, straight up leave. I didn't care at that point. So I'm working in the Flatiron district, and Beautiful at the time had one of her 4 jobs that was like near me. So she gives me a call. She's like, oh, I just got a new job. I said, really? She was like, oh, you want to come and support me? I said, of course I do, right? So I meet up with her, and by the time I meet up with her, her purse gets stolen. And I'm like, all right, like, what are we supposed to do? She's like, well, I still have to go to work, though. And I was like, okay. So, again, we go to Tremont, and we visit her thoughty friend in Tremont. And I'm like, what we doing at Thought's place? Like, I thought we were going to work. She's like, yeah. I just have to get clothes from her. I'm like, clothes? Y'all not the same size. It didn't matter because they were stripper clothes. And I was like, oh, hello. I was like, okay, right? So we go to the club. It's called Mr. Wedge's Strip Club, right?
In the Bronx.
And I'm like, strip club? I'm like, but what does this make you if we're at the strip club? She's like, I'm not a stripper. I'm a go-go dancer. I'm like, what is that? And she's like, I don't have to take my clothes off. So I'm like, oh, it's stripping but clothing optional is what that is. You got more freedom. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's do this, right? I'm here already. What the hey? Let's just do this, right? But mind you, she got all of her stuff stolen. So she needs me there at this point because it's a tip-in. If you're a stripper, you either have to pay them to start stripping or pay them at the end of your shift. Now, Mr. Wedges don't play because they're in the Bronx. You got to tip them in. You got to pay them up front first. She doesn't have the money. I have to get the money for her. This is the last of my money because I get paid $11 an hour. So I pull out the last of my money. I'm in the middle of nowhere, right? We get there. You can be 17 and strip if you want to, but you have to be 18 and up if you want to be a patron. I wasn't there yet. So she goes inside and they stop me. They're just like, hey, little mama. I'm like, what's up? And they're just like, do you have an ID? I'm like, but I'm tipping in for her. And they're like, are you working? I was like, no, thank you. And they were like, well, if you're not 18 and above, you can't get in. I'm like, even just to support a friend, I'm not trying to throw dollars at her. And they were like, nah, little mama, we not playing. I was like, okay. So she was like, all right, Crystal, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to make this money. It's going to be real quick. So I'm just standing outside. And at the time, I looked like I was 14, but I was really like 17. And like I'm standing outside, and Mr. Wedge, who I never meet, sends up someone to me. And they're like, Mr. Wedge says that you can't stand here. I'm like, who's Mr. Wedge? And they're like, the owner. I'm like, okay, well, tell him I have no other place to stand. And they were like, you know what? Here, just get in my car. I'm like, get in your car? And they're just like, yeah, get in my car. I'm like, okay. And this is a bouncer. So I'm like, all right, I get in. There's a baby seat in the back. I'm like, why am I in this car? Right. And I'm in there from like, I want to say around 9, 10 o'clock until like 4 a.m., 4 or 5 a.m. Livid, mad, angry, just like, whoa. Like I call Tasha and Semmey, I'm like, yo, I can't do this no more. I'm never doing this again. Cause I have work in the morning at like 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, I ain't never doing this again. I'm moving out the house. They're like, yo, chill, calm down. Like just be cool, right? She gets in the car at like 4 or 5 a.m., right? All chipper. She's like, I made some money, right? I'm like, okay, great. Let's go home. Right? We get in there and she's counting out her money. She's like, I gotta pay this person back. I gotta pay this person back. I gotta pay this person. Ends up making like less than $20 for herself off of that whole night. And I'm like, are you serious right now? And you still got all your stuff stolen. Like, it's not even worth it at this point. But that was my first strip club experience. Was going around to the strip club with her. And after that, remember she started auditioning at strip clubs?
It's like, bitch, if you're gonna take off your clothes for money,
You
you
might as
better
well
be
do it at a
making
good.
some money.
You gotta do it at a good place. So we started shopping
So we
around for
start
strip
trying to figure
clubs.
out, like, upscale a bit more, because she could actually dance. These bitches up
She's a
north
good
don't be
dancer.
actually dancing. They just be like kind of moving
A
around.
little something, something, a little
I
something,
don't be
something.
doing shit. But
Nothing. She
had a
be
badass body eating chicken grease all day.
yeah.
Like that shit still didn't affect anything. That shit was tight.
She had the thighs and everything to match, right?
Oh my
But
gosh.
at the upscale places, they're not looking for that. They want like a little skinny something something, right? So we
Beauty
went.
honestly didn't want to try. Like Tasha been trying to get her butt on. And for some reason, she's like really content with Mr. Wedges and the little raggedy ones in New York. And
It's because she knew people there. Like thoughts are us. She knew people there and felt very comfortable around them. But it was like your friends are criminals. Like you don't need to feel comfortable in this situation at all. And then they got her into like scans, like what do you call them? Money laundering. No, she didn't do money laundering. What she do?
cash and
Cash and
bad chuck.
cash and bad checks. That girl got caught. That was legit.
Man, that boy had her so wrapped around his finger.
And
We
then
couldn't say shit either. Like it was just kind of like a lost cause.
no, like they had me around in the car with her. I was like, why am I involved in this? You didn't tell me that we were doing this. Had me driving up there to Ace Cash Advances. And the guys in the front, like, they didn't pull up to the place. They were like, all right, so we're gonna be 3 blocks down, and then you're gonna walk up real casual, and then you're gonna go there, and then you're gonna walk down 2 other blocks, and then we're gonna pick you up around the corner. I was like, why y'all gotta do all that? I'm like, what is the risk involved in this? They were like, ain't no risk, little mama. Ain't no risk. Don't worry about it. I'm like, then why can't you just drop us off and then pick us up in front of the place? Why can't you just do that? And Beautiful was just like, no, it's okay. It's all right. We're just gonna make some fast money. I'm like, really? And then one of the guys from Ace called her. He was like, I know you're cashing bad checks. I've already called who I need to call. And like, you can't go back to work because they already know. And give me my money before I call the cops. That's when we thought she was about to go to jail. So we came up with this whole plan. We were like, you know what? Call those 2 guys that got you involved and like have them admit that they were the ones who were involved too, right? But I guess they were already hip to the game. So when we called them, they were just like, Beautiful, who? Who is this? We don't know no
Huh?
Beautiful. They were just like, we don't know what you're talking about. We don't know who this is. I'm so sorry about this. You got the wrong number, and hung up. I was like, wow. Wow. These are your friends. These are the people you want to kick it with. Where's Trey right now? Where is he at when you need him? So yeah, that was also some other stuff that we had to deal with. I don't know how she got out of that one though. I really don't. Truly
I
am.
don't even remember.
I think she disappeared after that for a few days. That's when that
I
happened.
I remember. I really don't even know how the fuck that went because that was actually like real ass life ass shit. Like,
We thought she was going to jail. Like we
guys,
honestly
so
did.
everybody credit card frauds
Don't do it. Don't
in New
just.
York. It's like you, your mama, your auntie, everybody cashing bad checks slash swiping cards.
It's a family affair. Like people like do it on a large scale. But you can't get caught and it doesn't amount to what it is you stole at all. Because as much money she got from that, we never saw it.
Guys,
Never saw
she
that.
was dating the biggest thugs, and why they was always broke? Why the fuck they was always broke? We didn't understand it. We was like,
If
I
you a
thought,
thug, you supposed to have money. Like that's your profession is getting money as a thug. Where's your money? Are you going to work as a thug? Like, are you showing up? All you gotta do is rob somebody. Do it. That's what you do for fun. Just do it. I don't know what was going on. Trey killed somebody, still didn't get any money on top of that. Be an assassin. Aim
but
higher.
he was calling Beauty from prison like, hey, little bitch, send me some money. She was like, huh? How the fuck you gonna threaten me from prison? Got his mama calling her.
His mama didn't even like her.
Like, hey, little bitch, give us money.
And see, but when we tried to tell her about him, she was like, nah, y'all understand. Y'all understand. Nah, girl, you don't understand. You don't get it.
Baby.
No.
God, were you there when she had another guy over?
Which one?
And it was a guy she wasn't talking to. And I had to pretend he was there for me.
When the other guy in the BMW showed up? Mr.
Um,
BMW?
no, I remember, I don't know if you were there, but me and Beauty, okay, there was this guy that used to work at NYU, and he took us home because I was moving there, and he helped me bring some of my bags home. And because he had a car, and that's pretty rare for New York, you know.
It is, yeah.
And he was willing to drive from New York to Jersey. So, you know, he wants to come inside and, you know, roll one and smoke one. And we were like, hell yeah, because that's all we do anyway, right? And all of a sudden, Trey calls Beauty, and he's like at the bus stop, like on his way over. And Beauty's shitting in her pants because she's like, oh my God. And he comes in, and
Mm-mm.
I have to pretend the guy that is here for me, so he doesn't kill him.
Wait a second. Do you tell the other guy, like the guy from NYU, like, yo, you play along?
No, I just kind of like because
No.
he wouldn't have played along.
Really?
He was grown, and Trey is like a
Mm.
baby killer,
Oh, no.
and he sensed what was happening, and he kind of did play along,
Okay, okay.
but kind of also made it a little difficult.
He played
He was
along with an attitude.
Yeah, he did. He made it a little obvious. And I was like, nigga, fall in line.
Behave.
I'm like, I'm not trying to die tonight because we all gonna die. If Trey finds out that you fucking with his girl.
Do you think
Like,
Trey caught on? Was he just like,
Trey was hella suspicious, but I think I played a good ass game. It's like,
okay.
no. I don't think I kissed, but I was being hella extra and was like, no, come on over here. Let's go. I low key kicked him out early. I'm
All
like,
right.
Yeah.
Ushered him out like, let's go. Let's go outside.
Girl, why didn't he want to leave?
What?
That's when he started acting difficult. He wanted to
No.
stay. I was like,
No. No, bro.
no,
That's not in the
bro.
cards. No, we
Like
going to sleep.
he stayed. He stayed. I was just like, okay, clearly. Well, no, he stayed, and we had to play the game a little longer.
No.
And I think it started becoming obvious to Trey, but like still not really. And so we eventually got away with it, but
Because Trey would have knocked Beautiful out into next week. Like, that would
not just Beautiful, honey. All of us, me, the nigga, like we would have all got it.
Oh, no. No. Yo, I would have been quick to call the cops. That was always my number one threat. Don't make me get the cops.
It
That
was
was my
so
number
bad. It was so bad. So he's smoking, so he doesn't want to leave. He's like in the middle of his blunt or whatever.
Which is
And then-
understandable, though. It's understandable.
Definitely. But you could put that bitch out.
Save it for another day, another time.
It goes out. It goes out. And then you can respark it and be about your business. But I have the blunt, and I think I'm like, do I pass it to Trey? Do I pass it back to him?
Because this is not Trey's. Does not belong to him, You can't be volunteering people's stuff like that. But he is involved in the safe. So you can't really leave him out like that.
Yeah.
So what you do?
Passed it to that nigga.
Let him have 1, 2, 3 puffs, whatever you
I
want.
was like, here you go. And then I looked at the other guy like,
like, play along,
like,
bro.
you good? Yeah, like, play along. Yeah, fun times. Guys, why is that like not the tip of? That's not the end of the stories.
No.
That's not the end. Do you remember that time we got super high and we found ourselves in a baseball field like at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. with like 2 guys, and it was like magical. It was like
I was not there for that.
I feel it was me and one, maybe it was Beauty. How about that time we found some blue cheese in Union Park?
Oh my God. I will not forget that.
Movie.
That was crazy. That was some crazy stuff. Like that.
Blue
till
cheese,
this day.
guys. Blue cheese.
To this day, I've been chasing that. Till this day, I've never had another experience like that in my life.
We call it the happy week.
I was seeing nothing but colors. I wasn't even seeing shapes anymore. It was just blurs of color. I almost walked out into oncoming traffic. You had to yank me back. That's how good it was.
It was so amazing.
And it was us sharing it with 2 other guys, too.
Yeah, we used to hang out on Force Union Square and drink.
Yeah, it was good times. Good times. I used to be a
meet up there after work and
yeah. Good times. Good times. I have to admit.
Shenanigans.
I have to say it was a good summer though. Like we did a lot of things.
Very entertaining summer. Probably the best one in my books.
At the time I wasn't too happy, but in retrospect, yeah, it was a very entertaining summer. I had a sew-in for the first and last time of my life.
It was so beautiful.
Girl, that's not the life I live. That's not me. That's not me.
That was that thought Crystal.
Yeah, that was Thoughty Crystal.
She was getting mad play too. Yo, you remember that?
When people see the silky smooth, they can't say no. They cannot say no when they see.
Wait, guys. Okay, I figured out the story you need to make a video about.
What?
When we went to Brooke first Saturdays.
Wow. Promo Girl Central. I remember that. They were up here being promo girls, and I didn't know it. And they were just like, "Oh, show up at the
Brooklyn
Brooklyn
Museum for $25. We didn't even know.
They were like, "Yo, show up and just dress up." I said, "Okay." I came through. I didn't know that there was a party. So I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy, right?" And I saw them passing out flyers, and you came up to me, you were like, "I hate this." Like they made me wear leggings. She was not.
They made me show my butt, guys. I never show my butt like that.
I was like, Semmey, you look great. Like, no worries, right?
I had my ass out, y'all.
But I'm walking behind them, and I notice I get mad play because I'm walking behind them, right? All these guys are just like, "Hey, little mama, Hey, like guys with good jobs, 2 good jobs. I'm like, you a professional. Like we're talking Clinton Hill guys. I'm like,
honey, we was pulling that night. But do you remember when we came by ourselves for fun? Because we realized we had a ball. So we decided to come back.
It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same when we came by ourselves.
Before we came, we went and smoked in the alleyway.
Yes, I do remember that. Yes. We did that. And then
everybody said they didn't want to go anymore, but I walked them that direction anyway.
We got paranoid, and then we turned around. We saw this guy. What did he look like? He looked like someone famous. We saw a guy who looked just like Jadakiss just staring at us.
Guys, we didn't take 2 steps onto like the property before we got freaked out because everybody was staring at us, and we thought we much. It was too much overload.
Yo, Tasha is like a brave girl, but she turned around. She goes, "I can't handle this. Nah, I can't. I'm out. I can't handle it," and just walked off. We were like, "Tasha, come back!" Right? So we're up here chasing Tasha. We're just like, "No, no, 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 no!" And then Semmey's just like, "I want an ice cream and waffles." We're like, "Where'd this come from? Ice cream and waffles?" So we went to that racist place. You remember the name of it? And where were we? You were trying to get yourself a waffle and some ice cream, and they were like, "We're out of waffles. We're out of ice cream." We're like, "That's all you sell is waffle and ice cream. Like, that's it." You don't remember that place?
I don't remember. I just remember like walking into First Saturdays and being like, everybody staring at us, and like then somebody started calling our name, and then or like waving us down. Or
so
like
yeah, they were waving us down. Yeah,
and then we turn over.
Light skin.
We turn over, and it's like Birdman and Jadakiss or something. We're like, "Is that Jadakiss?" And we run away because we're scared as shit and high as hell. And then we realize after we've come down that they were looking at us because we were cute, not because we were high.
But it was too intense. It was too intense. We really couldn't go through with it. But the first time we went was pretty fun. And this guy, he wasn't half bad. Try to holler at me, even gave me his number and everything. Like he was being cute.
Yeah, he was cute.
Yeah, he was cute. I forgot his name too. But I wasn't ready for it.
You weren't. We had to pressure you.
Yes, they did. And I wasn't.
She was coming over. She was getting off of a heartbreak or getting over a heartbreak that summer.
Yeah, I was being scared.
Like, honey, newest way to get over one is a new one.
I wasn't having it though. He was really trying to text me. Like he was really trying to stay in contact, and I killed it. But that night was young. Fun. I think he was older than me.
He was acting kind of young though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He was so cute. They looked so cute together.
He was super cute. But yeah, that was a good summer. And then I got that call. Like I got a call because we went to a roof party the same night. So we go to this party, we go to a roof party, we have a great time, a lot of pictures are taken. And then I get a call from this girl named Josie. She's like, "Oh, I saw you in all the pictures. Like, I want you to be a part of my group." I'm like, okay, right? So turns out she wants us to sit at the bar and talk to old guys the whole night and have them buy us drinks and buy drinks. I'm like, this is not even Thoughtsville anymore. This is borderline prostitution. Like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I got a job. I don't need this. And sure enough, I started acting up. I was like, I'm not working. I just stopped. I was like, no, I don't want to talk to nobody. No.
Right.
No. And that was the last time I worked with them. I was like, no. But I'm trying to think of what else, if anything else. I feel like we told a lot. I feel like, guys out there, if you still don't believe us, you ain't never going to believe us, all right? Like, it was a summer to never forget. A lot of stuff happened. If you're interested in more stories, I'll write them down. I'll actually make a collection of stories from the things that I can remember about that summer, because it was a lot that happened. And Semmey, I want to thank you for being a part of Bedstuy Stories. We appreciate you. We love the nails as well. We noticed that you got them done. They look
Thank you,
great.
girl.
But yeah, and you know what? I'll make a better effort of staying in contact with you because I'm really bad at it. I'm terrible at it.
Me too.
But I'll make a better effort because this was a lot of fun. But thank you. And thank you everyone for tuning in. And we'll see you next time, all right? All right. Bye, guys. Bye, Sam.
Bye.